My screen's full. They're all over the place.
Bogies are breaching the atmosphere from Finland down the North American seaboard.
Somebody down 911.
Not so fast, because sometimes the 911 operators are not playing for the home team.
911 is joking your town.
We're tracking the arrest of a 911 operator in Rochester accused of sharing confidential information with someone outside of work. Danielle Waters is charged with official misconduct. She works for the City-County Emergency Communications Department and is now suspended without pay. Tonight, Amanda Shivari is taking a closer look at court paperwork. And Amanda, how did city officials find out about this?
Jen, they learned about it while looking into another separate case. Danielle Waters works here at the 911 Center on West Main Street. It was her position here that led her to testify recently in a high-profile murder case.
But certainly we're disappointed that the allegation is out there.
911 dispatcher Danielle Waters is suspended without pay tonight. According to the paperwork we got today at the Rochester City Court, police say back in April, Waters used her work computer at the 911 Center on West Main Street to access information about a person wanted for a robbery on the east side of the city. Investigators say Waters then texted the girlfriend of the suspect with that information.
The city is very committed to making sure that we do the right thing, that we hold employees to a high standard, because we need to, at all times, promote and protect the public trust.
We searched our files and found that Danielle Waters is the same 911 dispatcher that took the witness stand during the murder trial against Charlie Tan. Waters told the jury that she was the one that took Jean Tan's 911 call the night she reported her husband's death. Here's a clip from that call.
Are you in a safe spot?
Yes, I am. He's trying to protect me.
Your son was trying to protect you?
Yes.
City officials tell me they can't talk about the details in this case because it's a personnel issue.
We might not know the details in Rochester, but in Wilmington, Delaware, we know the details of what happened when a 911 operator had a boyfriend who was a major criminal in Wilmington. So somebody calls 911 and says, "There's a shooting, there's a shooting." And she mentioned the address of the house. So the operator does not enter the information into the system. She starts texting her boyfriend saying, "Hey, they know the shots came from your house. Get out of there." Oh, and by the way, erase DIS, D-I-S. It's all in the story here if you want to see it. The only way they found out was Mr. Genius, Mr. Criminal Super Genius. He was out, running around. I guess he thought he could do whatever he want, and he would kind of like get a heads up on it, which is probably true. Anyway, he was in the middle of a high-speed chase. He crashed, picked him up. They grabbed his phone, and they started looking at his text messages. Then they figured out somebody at the 911 call center was giving him a heads up on all of his criminal activities. Now, you have to think that if somebody's smart enough to make that kind of, to make that kind of arrangement, to run that kind of operation, you have to wonder how these, what kind of money the person would make if he took those smarts into the business world. Not in a crooked way, but in a good way. Probably a lot more. Maybe not quite as exciting. Anyway, let's go into Chester, which is just a few miles away from Wilmington. Kind of the same thing. Not a 911 operator, but the major criminal had a girlfriend who was a receptionist in one of the courthouses. So her boyfriend is going to be in trial the next day. She goes up to one of the witnesses and says, War, that's what they called him, War. War says, "Don't come to court." They figured that one out too.
Today, the Chester County prosecutor announced charges of conspiracy and witness intimidation against 25-year-old Kenneth, a.k.a. War Wiley, and his girlfriend, 23-year-old Chanel Turner, both of Coatesville. Prosecutors say Wiley enlisted Turner, who was a receptionist in the county's juvenile probation department, to intimidate a witness against him. Wiley was charged in September with a dozen felony and misdemeanor drug offenses. Authorities say the victim was in a Chester County courtroom in October, a day before Wiley was scheduled for a preliminary hearing, when Turner approached him.
Turner went and found the witness here in the Justice Center, in a courtroom, and tried to intimidate that witness into not testifying.
According to court documents, she said, "Hey, don't show up in court tomorrow." War said, "Don't come to court." When that didn't work, Turner allegedly called Wiley and told him to come to the Justice Center.
He tracked down the witness, started following him around to try to intimidate him, to try to get him not to testify.
All this happened after Wiley posted a rap video on YouTube showing himself pretending to kill an informant. Hogan said such witness intimidation goes hand in hand with the illegal drug trade. It happens all the time, he said, but must be stopped.
If witnesses are going to be intimidated, then you are going to see a justice system that does not work.
Black civil servants helping their black gangster boyfriends evade justice on about 1,000 different levels. Witness intimidation, heads up on crime calls. That's a black thing. District attorneys all over the country are telling us witness intimidation is a nationwide epidemic. What they're not more explicit on is how this kind of witness tampering, witness intimidation is driving down the black crime numbers, helping to completely understate them, but giving newspaper reporters and editors and mayors a lot more reasons to not make the black kids angry.